going into the next season, there's a lot of things to be happy about, from a stacked draft class that's about to come in next year for any team that's lucky enough to get Victor Wembanyama, and for the teams that literally miss out on him, don't worry about it. You have another generational guard in Scoot Henderson to look forward to. You have records that are about to be broken, the most parity we've seen in the NBA in a while, and a lot of young cores that are looking to prove themselves that basically look like the future of the NBA. And one of those teams are the Orlando Magic, because with their recent #1 draft pick in Pablo Banchero, Cole Anthony, guys like Wendell Carter Jr. that have shown a lot of promise last season, with re-signing guys like Mo Bamba, who is showing glimpses of what he could be with an extended 3-point range and being able to protect the rim in almost every single facet of the game. This team just has a lot of things to be happy about, and while they may not be a high playoff seed or a playoff team at all, they're just a young team that can really make some noise next year. But there's one guy I forgot to mention that truly encapsulates just how good this team can be if he takes the next jump next season, and that is Franz Wagner. Now, Franz Wagner is the 6'9" swingman for the Orlando Magic that was a rookie last year. And normally I don't like to talk about rookies going into their second season, because of course you're going to expect improvements from a guy that just entered the league last year. But Franz Wagner is somebody that really caught my eye. Averaging 15.2 points, 4.5 rebounds, 2.9 assists, a steal a game on 47% shooting and 35% from 3, was an elite showing for any rookie in the NBA. But it's the unorthodox way he did it. The man is not extremely explosive, he's not the quickest guy in the world, but he gained a lot of oohs and ahs from the Orlando Magic crowd simply because of the way he's able to get to the rim and the way he's able to get to his own shot that just is Luka-esque. Moving at his own pace, he's not the quickest or the most athletic guy on the floor, but he has this innate ability to really understand people's bodies and how to move and get to the rim to avoid contact and get easy shots at the rim, or sometimes just being able to get there and use this unorthodox floater that he has in his game. And while he did average a little bit under 3 free throws a game, so you might want to initiate a little bit more contact going into next season, Franz Wagner has shown some amazing ways he can become even better player going into next year, especially with a player like Pablo Banchero on this roster now. And with his inside scoring ability being the most developed part of his game, Franz Wagner has a lot of ways he can still get better from there. He can still get quicker, he can still get a little bit stronger, he can initiate a little bit more contact to get a little bit more free throws, but that doesn't say it's the only way he can score. The man has a pretty nice touch from 3, but he is a little bit rhythm based. When he's on, he's on, when he's off, he's off, and that's showing. It's something that he does need to work on so he can become a little bit more consistent from there, but it's shown that that doesn't need to be a major part of his game for him to be effective on the floor at all times. Even though he only averaged 2.9 assists, just watching him you realize just how good of a passer he is. He's able to get in the lane a lot and find open shooters for kick-out passes. He has some great feel around the rim to hit guys like Mo Bamba and Wendell Carter Jr. for interior passes. In the pick and roll, he's definitely shown some flashes of being able to create from there himself. Overall, the man just has almost every single offensive asset in his bag, and he can only improve from here, which is why I'm picking him for my team on Underdog Fantasy. Before I get started, I'd like to talk about today's sponsors being Underdog Fantasy. And Underdog Fantasy is the best place to play fantasy sports as of right now, and they have their double dribble tournament going on for the 2022-2023 NBA season already. You just draft your players, and overall the grand prize is about $200,000, or it's a prize pool, and you can make out with more money than you put in by WHIP being up to 2,000th place. It's only a $25 entry fee, and if you use code FLB as of right now, you get $100 matched up to your first deposit. So if you wanted to get into fantasy sports, Underdog Fantasy is the best place to go. So hit the link in the description and use code FLB for $100 matched on your first deposit. And thank you to Underdog Sports for sponsoring this video. But even with all that on-ball scoring ability, he's also great off-ball. He knows to time his cuts well. He's know how to move into open space for when shooters draft to the rim so they can have a good direct passing line towards him. He just knows how to really be around the rim for offensive rebounds and get putbacks should guys miss. He's just really good overall in all areas, and he's one of the more fundamentally sound players in the league with the rooms to get just a lot better. But even with understanding all of that, the man is also a defensive beast last season. He held guys to only 41% shooting on contested shots last year, and the only two small forwards better than that were Andrew Wiggins and Mikal Bridges, who both made the all-defensive team. He only averaged about 2.1 fouls per game, which is great. He can stay on the floor and knows how to guard guys without having always handed the cookie jar, which is also a great asset to have when you have so many crafty guys in the NBA already. So mixed in with his incredibly sound offensive ability and already well-developed defensive ability, going into next year with some of the improvements you can expect from him, this man is going to be a demon next year, and he's going to be one of the main focus, probably the best player or the second best player, depending on how well Paulo comes out, but he's going to be either the first or second best player on that Orlando Magic roster, which is a lot to say because Orlando sometimes, as a team, it's really hard for me to get interested in them at all because they've done such a horrible job at building around the key pieces they have. And right now I'm very scared for what they may do with Paulo, but they have such a great young core, it seems so hard for them to screw it up. But they've done it before. You had Nikola Vucevic, Victor Oladipo, and Tobias Harris all on the same team, and they're all gone now. So that should tell you just how good this team is at building around stars. But they're doing a great job in the rebuilding era, and I don't really, unless they try to screw this up, I don't see a way where this can end bad. I don't say they're going to be championship contenders, but I don't see a way this can fall off a cliff. But there's also a lot of ways for him to get better next season. Shot creation wise is the main place. He has a nice floater in the lane and he knows how to get to the rim and he has a lot of great footwork. But mixing in some mid-range jumpers, which he only took 40 next year, only made 12 of them, it can be a great way to expand his offensive game a little bit more. He gets a little bit dribble heavy when he is looking for his own shot. So just being able to, keep it down to 1 or 2 moves to get where he wants to be, especially when you have ball dominant guys like a Cole Anthony on this team with somebody like Paulo that's going to require some touches. He's going to need to be a little bit quicker in the way he gets his buckets to truly be effective on this team without slowing down the ball a little bit too much. And like I said before, as an 86% shooter from the free throw line, he can do a lot better job of getting there, being able to absorb a little bit more contact, going to the rim, not looking to avoid every single defender before him, and truly just becoming a complete scorer overall. But for a guy to already be this good defensively, have this much potential, and still already be this good offensively with so much room to grow, I don't see a way where Franz Wagner at some point in his career is not an all-star. If it's not on this Orlando Magic team, at least somewhere else. He has the skill, he has the talent, and right now he has, well, the ball in his hands to actually get to where he needs to be. But even with all that being said, the Orlando Magic are going to have to make a lot of decisions going into next year. They have a very guard-heavy roster with Cole Anthony, Markelle Fultz, RJ Hampton, and Jalen Suggs on this team. And while I know Markelle Fultz and Cole Anthony have shown the most promise of this whole team out of that 4, you simply can't give up on Jalen Suggs because of a slow rookie year. And RJ Hampton showing a lot of flashes without a lot of opportunity last season. So God knows what he can turn into. Overall, this team just has a lot of young players that they can depend on, and adding somebody like Paolo Banchero that's probably going to be the #1 for this team as time goes on. You already have the guy you want to build around, and I think you already have the core pieces in Wendell Carter Jr. and Franz Wagner, and you just need to make a decision on who's the point guard for this team, and then you already have the role players like a Mo Bamba to fill out certain roles, like a rim protector and a stretch big on this team. So give this team a couple of years, they're going to make some noise in the NBA if they're able to develop well, and these guys hit the mark that they're supposed to. Next year, I can see this team, if everything goes right, they can make some noise in the play-in, but most likely they will be missing the NBA playoffs. But we're going to get to see a lot of young talent being able to show what they can do. So I'm still excited to watch this team, and I'm going to add them to my league pass rotation. So let me know what you guys think in the comment section down below of the Orlando Magic. I know I have a couple fans on this channel, so let me know what you guys think. With that being said, this FLB is my time, and I'm out.